You're listening to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a business coach for online health coaches who want to attract their ideal clients, stop feeling defeated by their never-ending to-do list, balance a healthy lifestyle with their growing business, and stop over-analyzing what everybody thinks of them so that they can confidently own their message and online presence. On this podcast, we dive deep into health information you can share with your clients, business strategy tips, and more. Let's get to it. Hey there, before we get into today's episode, I want to let you know you can score my 4-step 6-figure framework for free when you leave a review for this podcast. So simply leave a written review on iTunes, take a screenshot of your written review, and email it to info@haileyrowe.com with the subject line Masterclass, and I will know to send you your free masterclass. Can't wait to support you in building out the framework for your coaching business, and let's get into today's episode. We're going to talk about a very crucial last in the coaching industry. If you want to be one of the ones who hits 6 figures, who grows and scales, etc. Okay, so there's this whole thing. We all live in this coaching bubble, right? And comment below if you know what I mean. We all follow all these coaches because we're coaches, right? And what happens when we do this is we start to compare ourselves to other coaches. And we start to look at what they're doing and think, wow, that person is crushing it. I need to be doing everything that they're doing. And this gets us distracted. It doesn't tell us the full story. We're not the same people. We don't have the same priorities, goals, values as this person. And yet, we're online watching these other coaches and thinking, oh my God, I have to do what they're doing because they're successful, and that's what I got to do. So I'm going to play out a few different examples of how this has played out, and some of my clients who've come to me and said, I'm comparing myself to others, I feel inadequate, I'm jealous of other coaches. There's this like FOMO effect in place sometimes when you are in an industry, you're so focused on it, you care so much about it, and you're seeing others win, and sometimes you start to feel a little sad or something like that, right? So, first of all, I get it. I do it all the time. I compare myself. When I first started business coaching, I thought a business coach has to wear blazers. They can't crack any jokes. They have to use charts and graphs. They have to teach a full course on how to use a balance sheet. All these weird things in my head about what a business coach had to be. And once I started looking around the industry, realized actually that's not true. And there's a lot of coaches who don't do any of that. Okay, so it changed my perspective. So that's an example of when comparing is actually a good thing and productive, not something where it limits you, right? But let's talk about when it limits you, okay? So, client this morning said, I see these coaches, they're doing these things, I feel inadequate, I feel behind compared to everybody else. And what we talked about is when you have somebody who you admire or who you're comparing yourself to and you're like, dang it, why are they so far ahead? What am I not doing? First of all, it's actually a good thing that you notice that, because that just means, number one, you got to ask yourself, why am I triggered by this? Because it's a sign, it's a mirror of something that you see in somebody else that you would like to see in yourself. So if that person, let's say, is crushing it going live on Facebook, and you're like, dang it, why are they getting all these engagements? Why am I not getting this engagement? And yet you're not going live because you're afraid of being on video. Maybe the thing that you're noticing, what you're comparing yourself to, or why you're jealous, is because you need to go live and you're not doing it. Okay? So, anytime you see somebody, you admire them, you want to be like them, or you're comparing yourself to them, or you're jealous of them, it means they've set something up, they've worked hard on something that you want for yourself. So figure out what that is, and then you have two options. Sit in your dirty diaper, as I always say, comparing yourself, feeling bad about yourself because you don't have that, or option two, learn how to go create it for yourself. and work with somebody who's done it. Ask them about it. See if they know anybody who could teach it to you. Be a resourceful human, right? So that is the first thing. The second thing is, anytime you see somebody who is doing something that you want to be doing, or you're triggered, right, or you're comparing yourself, remind yourself you don't know the full story. So you don't know how much time they've been working on this. You don't know what their priorities are in their life. You don't know what they're sacrificing to do that thing. You don't know the time, resources, money, coaches, trainings they've done. Okay, so you have to get real with yourself and say, well, am I comparing myself to somebody who is really putting myself at an unfair playing field, because they've been doing this for 10 years. They've spent $60,000 a year on developing their business. They've done the scary stuff. They've had their failure moments, and I just didn't see that part. I came in, I'm looking at their highlight reel, and now I realize, oh, I didn't see the 10 years of struggle, or I didn't see the launch there. They had only one person sign up, etc. So you don't see the full story. And the third thing to remember, and this came from my other client, is that it's always a mirror, as I mentioned before, of something you want for yourself, or something that you feel inadequate about in your life, and you got to work on some limiting beliefs. So my client said to me, I get so annoyed sometimes when I see you going live, because I'm like, dang it, she's doing it again, and all this stuff. My reason why I'm going live all the time on Facebook is because eventually I might want to do Facebook ads, and I want to be able to look at my Facebook insights and have something to look at and know what's working, right? And so, but somebody on the outside might see me going live every day and be like, what the F? Why is she going live all the time? She clearly is mastering this, and I'm not going live, and all this stuff. But you don't know the full story. You don't know my goals. You don't know what I'm not doing to make time to go live, right? So anytime you get stuck and you're like, shoot, this person's doing this, and I feel like I need to do this, it's a mirror, and it's a sign that you just want to be doing that thing, or you think that you're realizing you're not doing something that you want to be doing. Okay, so what do you admire in other people, and how can you start to create that for yourself, embody them, and borrow from their confidence or their success, and go create it for yourself, and find the resources and tools to do that. The last thing I want to mention is, I'll give you a personal life example. So I have two coaches or mentors, whatever you want to call them, consultants, I don't know, whatever, people in my life who help me a lot. And they both had very different routes to get to their success. And it's really beautiful for me to see, because it reminds me you don't have to do anything. You can pick a path, stick with it, and it could probably work for you. Doesn't have to be Facebook ads, doesn't have to be Pinterest, doesn't have to be whatever it is, right? You can pick something, stick with it, and usually it'll work. But you don't have to do it all, okay? And so one of the things, though, that I got distracted by was yesterday, I was watching, I scroll through every once in a while on Instagram. Not often, but when I get the chance to look at my favorite people, I do. And I was looking at this one coach, I'm like, dang, you're crushing it with, first of all, everything looks perfectly branded. Second of all, they have this, they're marketing the lifestyle. Third of all, they, have scaled and all this stuff, and are using Pinterest and getting passive income from their courses on Pinterest, all this stuff, right? So I know naturally I'm like, well, shit, should I be doing Pinterest? I need to go shift over to Pinterest. And then the next morning, talk to my mentor, right, who's a 7-figure business owner, been very successful, has the same exact, life, marks the lifestyle, all the things. And she's like, Pinterest didn't work for us. We gave it a really fair shot. We spent X dollars on it. We had a beautiful person managing, making our Pinterest look beautiful, guiding it to the exact lead magnet, all this stuff. And we found the leads weren't that quality, it wasn't right for us, and it didn't work, right? So you can see something that works for one person, it doesn't work for another person. So when you compare yourself and think you have to go run and do that thing, just think twice. And you remember, you don't know the full goal of that person, what they've done to get that ready, who they've worked with to get that going. And there's more than one path to success. You don't have to fit in a box and do what everybody else has done just because it's worked for them. So my takeaways for you. Number 1, comment on this video if you like it. Number 2, message me if you like it. Number 3, ask yourself, when I feel jealous or compare myself to others, what is it that I see in the other person that I admire, that I want to create for myself, or the reason why I'm triggered? Because that will tell you exactly what you want in your life and give you some clarity, okay? Second thing is, it's a mirror, so remember that, and it just means you're feeling inadequate about something you haven't done, and in which case you should know that you are worthy naturally. You don't need to do something or be something to gain your worthiness, but you're being triggered by this other person and it's teaching you you're feeling unworthy about X, and find out what that thing is and start to work through those limiting beliefs, okay? And then the third thing is, what was the third thing? Just remember there's more than one path to get successful. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing and have shiny object syndrome. It's not a good idea. Okay, so I will talk to you soon. Have an awesome day.
Hey there, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And if you liked it and want to reserve your very own free sales audit, go to haileyrowe.com/strategy-call to book your very own free sales audit. On the call, we'll talk more about the common concerns you get from your ideal clients, how to overcome those concerns, how to coach through objections, how to change your mindset around sales, and improve your sales process so you can be closing and converting more clients. I can't wait to connect with you, and go to haileyrowe.com/strategy-call to take the first step. Thanks so much. Have a good day.